purpose of her speech is to share with you how to begin a speech. One thing that she will not go over today, but would like you to know, is that this opening may not be the first thing you write. In fact, it may be the last. Please help me welcome Joan Pepke. The title of her speech is "An Opening is Like an Earthquake." It should get your attention.
That was Skipper on July 6th. Skipper is a 35-year-old parrot who lives with his owner Betty in Riverview. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, Skipper didn't know it, but Skipper opened his speech with the criteria that Toastmasters International uses for opening a great speech, the success of opening a great speech. That's what my topic will be about today. How to open a speech and give a great speech. You know, you do three things up here. You have an opening speech, you have the body of the speech, and you have the closing. The opening is so important because it elevates the rest of your speech and the body of the speech. You know, when that 5.8 earthquake hit on July 5th, Skipper did the very thing that most of us probably did. He jumped out of from under his covers and started screaming and running around because he knew something was wrong. And Skipper used the 4 criteria for an opening speech. What are those 4 criteria? 1, you want to get the audience's attention. 2, you want to introduce your topic. 3, you want to build a good rapport. And 4, you want to do it fast because the opening is just that. It is not the body. Skipper did all 4 of those. First of all, getting the attention. He jumped out of bed, he started screaming, running around, and he got Betty's attention for sure. Introduced his topic. Skipper did just exactly that. He introduced his topic with a question. His topic was a question. What in the heck is going on in my world? It's shaking. I'm trying to sleep. And he did it with just a few words. And the other thing that he did was build a rapport. He had energy and excitement in that in his opening. He built a rapport with the audience. He got their attention, and he did it fast. In fact, Skipper used 2 words in his speech at that point. One was "doing," and the other one "what doing." No T's in Skipper's language. So he did his opening fast. Now you say, okay, Joan, you've told us what we need to do, but you haven't told us how to do it. Thank you for asking. I will tell you how to do it. There are several ways to open a speech. State the importance of your topic. What's your topic about? I think you've already caught on that my topic is about earthquakes. Open with that topic. How much do you know about earthquakes? I didn't know a heck of a lot, but when my house was shaking, I wanted to know more. And another thing, did you know that we live on the Ring of Fire? What is the Ring of Fire? It's a geographical area with a high seismic activity. Maybe you want to show a picture of that Ring of Fire. Pictures will also get the attention of your audience and bring them into your speech. So you show that Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is seismic activity just east of Australia coming north, underneath the Aleutian Islands, underneath Alaska, down past Canada, North America, South America. The Ring of Fire. There's where all the seismic activity is. Draw your audience in with a picture, with a quick point about your topic. Another way to get the topic going is make a startling statement. How about that 5.8 earthquake really shook our house? How about yours? How about, did you know Montana has 7 to 10 earthquakes every day? How about, There were 918 earthquakes in Montana in 365 days. That's a lot of earthquakes. Quakes don't usually hurt us or bother our way of living unless you're in a building. The quake doesn't hurt you, it's the building crushing down and you're still in it. That's what's gonna hurt you, causing injury, possibly even death. So when there's an earthquake, you wanna get out of that building to survive. All these things that we're talking about are things that your interest is growing in the speech. So you use those topics, use startling statements. Another one is arouse with curiosity and suspense. Make that audience part of your speech. Make them want to ask questions and pull you in, and they'll be pulled into your speech. Like, what do you do? What do you do when there is an earthquake? Or are you prepared for the next earthquake? Are you waiting to hear that earthquake on the Richter scale? Or have you got a plan to save yourself and get out of that building? Or to save your family and get them out of the building? At this point, these questions, your audience is going to be writing notes because they're thinking, I better have a plan. I need to know what to do. So your audience is participating in your speech. Another idea for opening a speech is humor. Humor, we all know humor is number one in Toastmasters. It works so well. Open with a joke. Open with a story. Some kind of story. My husband Jerry and I were sound asleep at 12:30 on July 6th when that earthquake happened. But just like Skipper, when it happened, we come bolting out from under our blankets. The mirror at the head of the bed was shaking, and the pillar next to the bed was also shaking. Jerry was up trying to stabilize that mirror and that pillar because it was just vibrating. And we're both going, what's going on? Just like Skipper, what's going on? What's that? What's it doing? I jump out and think, what's that noise? There must be some storm going on outside. I look out the window and I don't see anything. Okay, my next thought is there's a window open across the hall in one of the bedrooms and we have got a cross draft. I go across to the other bedroom and look, there's no window open. I go to the next bedroom and there's no window open. I don't see anything going on. I'm at the end of the hall and I realize, I've got to use the bathroom. I sit down on the commode and that commode is shaking. And I realize something else is going on. This is not right. This has never happened before. I go back into the bedroom and tell Jerry, I think that was an earthquake. And you know what, honey? We've never had a 5.8 earthquake in our bedroom, ever. Tell a story. A story will stick with it. Humor, a joke will stick with your audience. Use that. How about a rhetorical question to open a speech? What causes an earthquake? Simple answer, 2 blocks of earth passing by each other. How about how deep is an earthquake? It can be very near the surface. It can also be 400 miles deep. How many earthquakes do we have? Roughly 500,000. Only 100,000 of those earthquakes are felt. And then there's the question that I think very interesting. Do animals know something we don't? Experts believe that animals sense changes in the Earth's magnetic field, and they can tell you when there's an earthquake coming. In fact, if you were outside on July 6th, you would have heard the birds. They were singing like the sun was coming up. But wouldn't you sing if your tree was doing this? There are openings also that we need to avoid. When we get to the lectern, there's some small time, quiet time for prep if you have something to do. Use that quiet time. There are things that we need to avoid. There's a man sitting on my right. I'm not going to interact with him. That would be boring. The lady on my other side. If I interacted, that would be boring. That is distracting from your opening speech. You want that opening speech to support the body of your speech. Also, you've got a timer. Don't say, "Are you ready, timer?" That is a professional timer. Of course that timer's ready. There's an evaluator for your speech. You've talked to the evaluator before the speech, so you don't need to interact with the evaluator. That's boring. That's distracting from where you're going with your speech. And then don't explain, "Do you know that it took me a month to write this speech? I was up all night preparing for it." Boring. When you hit the lectern, it is showtime. You go into your speech. That introduction that's going to set up the body of your speech. And the conclusion, of course. Make that speech powerful. In closing, a dynamic beginning is essential for a good speech. An opening is just like an earthquake. It should get you excited and get your attention. David opened his speech with 2 rhetorical questions. So, what are you doing with your life? And who is living at 100%? Another lady opened hers with, I've not been feeling myself. Whatever technique you use, these are all good techniques. Whatever technique you use, make it short. And then use a smile, use enthusiasm, and use eye contact. And don't forget the 4 steps to a good opening. Get the audience's attention, introduce your topic, build a rapport, and keep it short. Madam Toastmaster.